Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Today I'm going to be taking a look at some low cap Solana meme coins. I used to really frequent the Solana blockchain a lot more than I currently do. Lost a little bit of money and said, I'm out. And I do like Ethereum more than Solana, but there's a lot of money on Solana. There have been some crazy moves. The Solana coins tend to move a lot more rapidly, a lot more violently up and down in comparison to Ethereum or base coins or BNB coins. But nonetheless, I was just bored last night, so I decided to put together this list. All of these coins are under $5 million market cap, I believe, and some of them are under $1 million. So we're just going to go through this. These are all, I would say, you don't want to say long-term holds on Solana, but there's only one trade, I'll say, involved with this. Many of these are, you buy it, you hope there's a serious bull run, and maybe the coin ends up booming. So this first one, this is Y2K. That is the ticker. The coin's name is .com. It's kind of like the 2000s culture, the idea of the new century, Y2K, the world ending, the internet shutting off. And so that's the idea of it. And I think, I've talked about this coin before a while ago on my channel. Normally when you look at a setup, like to me, this is a very, very good setup for a Solana coin. You want at least one massive retracement, preferably two. This one had a run up to around, looks like 5.5 million. It retraced to around 600K, so that's about an 80% retracement there. Then it had a run up to around 33 to 35 million. It had a retracement where it bottomed out around 1.5 million. So massive retracement from around 30 to 1 million. You're talking about like a 95% decrease. Recently, it had another run up to around 8 or 9 million. It's had a retracement to around 4 million, but you can see, it's held a decent floor. And looking at this of around 1.3, 1.4 million, even during a more bearish time in the meme market and just the market in general. And so another thing I will say about this coin, it should be noted, it is bridged to Ethereum, which is very rare for a sub $5 million market cap Solana coin that originated on Pump Fund. So you take a look at this. This does have a very decent community, over 7,000 followers. You can see it's got the .com, y2k.com there. This was its pinned tweet. It's got around 400 likes, some comments, 1 hour ago tweet. So they're posting about it. And so I've always thought this was a decent play just in terms of the whole idea of Y2K and a nice website. A nice little website here. You can see, kind of reminds me of the Pepe Coin website, old fashioned, late 90s, early 2000s. That's the whole idea of it. Coin info. So kind of a fun little format there. But this is a coin I've seen for a while. I'm not invested into it. I probably won't invest into it. It's just at around 5 million at this point. 5 million is certainly a small market cap. Let's be honest, but we normally like catching the market caps under $1 million. At 5 million, it's tough to get, even 0.5% of supply. What is that, a $25,000 investment to get 0.5% of supply? That's, it's a sizable chunk of change. And that's not a chunk of change that I have in terms of, free money right now. I guess you could say gunpowder, if you will. The next one is Buttcoin. So the ticker is Buttcoin and the coin name is The Next Bitcoin. The symbol is a crooked B, which kind of, symbolizes a butt. And this coin just looks bled. It looks completely bled and possibly a good entry. If you were thinking of this coin, it retraced back to around 1.4 million. It pumped back up to around 25, 30 or 30 million. And so it's seen two massive retracements. Now, to me, I think this is a different narrative in and of itself. I know this kind of originated with the whole idea of Titcoin and all these different things. You had Weed Coin that were kind of coined off of Bitcoin. But if you think about it, there really is no true Bitcoin meme. I guess you've got that mascot Biddy thing, but there's really no like funny meme off of it. That's a mascot, not really a meme. This would be like a meme like Buttcoin. That's a funny version of Bitcoin, and it just looks bled out completely to me. And this is a coin that they still are pushing. You can see Buttcoin, the next Bitcoin, around 9,000 followers. 3 hours ago post. Not great engagement, but you're going to deal with that when you got a chart that's bled out like this, you're not going to have great engagement. So I think this is an interesting idea. This is also a pump fund coin. The pump fund coins, you can say they're bad, they're good. You know, there tends to not be a real team behind the coins because just the nature of them. But you know that the tokenomics are going to be a certain way, especially coins that have bled out this much twice. That means there's been several different rotation of holders likely, and you're not going to be dealing with a crazy cabal when you're dealing with a bleed like this. To where also it does look like it's maintaining a sizable community if the market cap is still over $1 million at this point. So to me, it just looks like it's completely bled out. This next one, this is one I have talked about. This is the only one that I'm in terms of actually being invested into it. This is called the retirement token. The ticker is 42069K. It is kind of like a branch off of the idea of the SPX 6900, which is a meme off the S&P 500, NASDAQ 420, which is a meme off of the NASDAQ 100. And then you've got the 401k. You've got a crypto 401k now that Trump has introduced. And so you've got the retirement token, the 42069K. And this is a coin that just completely bottomed out. It was originally released back almost a year ago at this point. It bottomed out to around 40 or 50K. It ran back up to around 2.5 million, and now it does seem like it is finding at least maybe a floor of around 200K or 240K, and it's been kind of hovering around there, I would say, for the last month or so, maybe a little bit less than a month, but this is a coin that's kind of been reawoken, I would say. You can see they've got this new X account. Their old account did have around, it's got like almost 2,500, 2,500 followers. So I don't know why they did this with the new account, but they're pretty active. I think the Telegram could be more active, but I like the narrative of this coin, and it does seem like it is possibly finding a floor. I mean, we'd have to see a boom back up to like 400 or 500K, I feel like, for this to be confirmed. But I mean, who knows with TA when you're talking about meme coins? It's really, they just get invalidated all the time. They do whatever they want. So I think it's a decent play. The next one is, this is the meme coin off of Apple. This coin is bled to hell. So this is AABL, not Apple, ABBLE. So I haven't seen, honestly, this is unique. I haven't really seen a meme coin off of Apple. And it just looks like this coin is completely bled out at around 500K. This coin has gone through several massive retracements. It immediately ran up on its release. This was not a pump fund coin, by the way. So this is something you'd have to look at the contract and make sure. But this coin immediately ran up to around 50 million, retraced to around 900K, went back up to around 14, 15. And now, since even prior to April, this coin has maintained a market cap ranging from like 500K to 700K. There was a big sell-off when I saw this coin. And then I guess it got eaten up completely in terms of the dip, but it dipped under 300K and now it's back up to around 500K. But it just looks bled out completely. And I haven't seen another meme off of Apple. Man, they really don't have... Oh, yeah, they do. They've got the actual account. Yeah, their official account, they said, got suspended. So that's why this has only 784 followers. It's unfortunate. 3 weeks. Wait, how did they have 50,000 followers? Dude, they had a golden check mark. This is strange to see a meme coin that with that type of market cap have fit. Well, maybe they bought the followers. They had a golden check mark. That you are tempting it. You're making a meme off of Apple, and you bought a golden check mark because people are gonna think it's the real Apple. I don't know. Man, that probably killed their project. That's unfortunate. But it does look bled, and I can't believe they had an asset like an account with 50,000 followers and a golden check mark. This next one, this is Deepseek, so this would be a trade for sure. Yeah, if you were to buy this would be a trade. Basically, I'm sure, if you don't remember, Deepseek is the Chinese AI language model. It's kind of like the competition to ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok. And so they released it back in January and it shocked the market. So they made meme coins off of it. This meme coin just did a ridiculous, like, look at this. This meme coin went to 15,000 to wicking at over $50 million. Could it go back to $50 million? Basically, no chance. The only reason this happened is because it was shocking, like in the nature of which Deepseek, when it released, nobody thought it was going to be as good as it was. And honestly, I think it was kind of overhyped, but there was just so much hype. And they were like, the Chinese did it again. They're so much smarter than us. Because I guess the amount of semiconductors they used was significantly less than what's needed to train the American language models or something. But they've had issues. They're trying to release their new. The reason you would invest into this is because they're trying to release, like what Elon Musk does with the Grok 4, Grok 5, ChatGPT 5. They're trying to release their newest iteration, which is, it's called Deepseek R2. It's V4 R2 is what it's called. And there's been all these delays. I've bought this coin. I've sold this coin. People thought it was going to come in as early as April. And there's been all these delays because they can't get the semiconductors or something. And so now it's sitting at around 107. I mean, look at this coin. Yeah, see, there was a run up right here because people thought it was going to be released in like late May. So there was anticipation buying. But like, this is a trade, right? The hope is that, well, you buy this and then within a week it gets released and the coin runs to 10 million, you get out. So you get like a 30x or something. But the problem is, this late in the cycle, is it really worth being bogged down with these trades that may end up losing you money, or they may be linear? And I mean, this coin's been trading linear the past like 4 months. Like, it's actually trading down compared to where it was, I guess, because people are getting tired of waiting. But there is that one. This next one, this is called Millennial. So I have seen some KOLs call this coin out. And normally when that happens, it's like, well, obviously they're going to get a better entry. They're going to dump on you. But this coin is really, it's bleeding out. It is bleeding out. It ran to around 4.5 million. This has the crazy ticker, Harry Potter TV, Pokemon 911. That's the ticker. And then, or no, that's the name of the coin. And then the ticker is Millennial. And I'm not a millennial, but I can understand this coin doing well. And it does look like an interesting chart that, you're talking about a retracement from around, maybe I would wait for an official confirmed bottom, but you're going from around 4.5 million back down to around 780K, 800K. So a pretty significant drop. So this is an interesting one to look at. Let's take a look at the presence on X, Millennial on Sol. Not a ton of followers, but they are active. So it's an interesting one to look at. And then this one, this is called 888. This is another one that's just bled out completely. So this coin ran to around 22, 23 million. It's back down to around under 900K. And it's kind of been ranging and just lightly bleeding over the past. I mean, if we could freaking, why is this so warped, man? It just, look at this. It's just been lightly bleeding over the past month and a half, 2 months. This, the reason it's called 888, I think is based on Japan or something. It's a Japanese saying or something. They're trying to, I do like the website because it kind of gives it a goal. But the problem with it is, like, you look at the goal here, they want to go to $888. Like, I understand them making a very hard to reach goal, and it's a fun thing. It's a community thing. That's just not possible. It's not feasible for this coin to go to $888. $8.88 isn't even feasible based on its supply, unless they burned like 90% of its supply. So, I don't know, but look, it's one of those to where it has a community. The whole idea of it is, in the Chinese culture, the number 888 is more than just a number. It's a symbol of infinite prosperity, balance, and good fortune. So, I don't know. I just thought the chart looked pretty bled to me. And if there's a reversal with these Solana meme coins, which honestly, I'd rather see money be pumped into Ethereum, if I'm being completely honest, than Solana. But these are coins that I think could do well based on their narrative, based on what their charts look like right now. You'll notice a similar pattern with many of these coins. A lot of them are going through big retracements. That's really the only time you can buy. Well, this is a trade. This is based on news. This is completely different. The only time you can buy Solana meme coins without getting destroyed completely, you have to wait till they've bled out or they're on massive retracements. That's the only time you can really look. You wait for the bleed. You see a massive pump. You see a bleed. You see a massive pump. You see a bleed. You see a massive pump. This one's a little bit different. You can tell it's a lot stronger of a chart, even with the big pump. It's been able to sustain it. You don't see that slow bleed out with this coin. There's buying pressure within it. And that's part of the reason it's at 4.9 million and not 1.2 million, which is, if you're entering, kind of annoying, because you want to, there's a big difference in terms of entering a coin at 1.2 million versus 5 million. If it goes to 100 million, you're going from making an 80x to like a 15x or 20x or 25x. Sorry. But yeah, that's basically it. So those are some interesting coins. This AABL is, I'd have to look more into this project, but I guess it doesn't shock me that they would have the massive account if they reached 50 million. It seems like a dead project, though, from what I see. It doesn't seem like there's anyone in it. You'd have to look at the Telegram as well. But I think this Y2K could be a winner. I think the Buttcoin coin could do very well. I think the retirement token could do very well. Millennial could do very well. So those would be the ones that I would look at in terms of this range, to where under 1 million, under 5 million, things of that nature. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you like the video down below. This is not financial advice. Thank you for watching.